Very nice to be here, and I'd like to congratulate the executive Quo Vadis for this excellent conference, and it's really, really nice and warm to be with so many Polish Canadians and Canadian Polish people. I call Polish Canadians the ones that were born in Poland, and the Canadian Poles are born here. I'm a Canadian Pole. I'd also like to mention that I'm very happy to see Walter Purcell here. He's on my board of directors, and he's a very, very intellectual fellow in my board meetings because he always supports me. And so thank you, Walter, for that. Also, Maya Mielzynski, her father's been working for PMA for 30 years, and he's a long-term employee of PMA. And it's a funny thing with Maya's father, Lucien. For 20 of those 30 years, he hasn't worked on Polish products, really. He's worked on Appleton Jamaica rum. So I think Lucien's been in Jamaica much more than he's been in Poland. So although he does love Poland, I know that. Very nice to have the ambassador here and the consul from Ottawa and Vancouver. We do a lot of work with the consul in Toronto. We do a lot of functions. We support them, and they're very, very good people to work with. Outstanding, really. I'd like to mention one thing that the ambassador said, that pierogi and Polish sausage aren't for us, but we really like them still. Yeah, we really like to eat them still. It's kind of like that song, if I won $1 million, I wouldn't have to eat Kraft dinner, but I would. You know, I don't know if you know that song, but anyway, that's, I wanted to thank you for inviting me here, and we're a very, very proud sponsor of the conference also, Peter Mielzynski Agencies. We're known in English circles as PMA Canada, because I made a decision a number of years ago, to my father's chagrin, really. He was not pleased with that decision. Either was one of our shareholders in Germany at the time, where we changed our name from Peter Mielzynski Agencies Limited to PMA Canada. And the reason we did that was we had a lot of problems with a lot of our customers, liquor boards across the country, saying Peter Mielzynski Agencies Limited. So we changed it to PMA Canada, and I think for our Canadian customers, it's excellent, and our Polish customers still call us Peter Mielzynski Agencies. So we have the best of both worlds. A little bit about myself. I was born in Toronto, but I'm a very proud Polish citizen also. I have my Polish citizenship, I have my Polish passport. I use my Polish passport when traveling in the EU. It's very convenient, very nice. And I use my Polish passport when I go to Poland, and I'm very proud of that. My father comes from Poznań, my mother comes from Krakow, and my wife comes from Sopot. And her whole family is in northern Poland, in Gdańsk and Sopot area. My father and I have been working together for over 30 years. And we run, as Monica was saying, we run the #1 wine and spirits agency. Now, what do we mean by agency here in Canada? Because some people aren't from Canada. We're a marketing and sales agency. We represent brands from all over the world. Some of our international brands are Appleton Rum, Glenfiddich, Scotch Whiskey. We represent Campari. We represent Cinzano, Sky Vodka from the United States. Some extremely large international brands. We sell 2.5 million cases, and we have 140 people employed across Canada from Newfoundland to Vancouver Island. So we are the largest, and we very proudly, I have to say, we are the largest and most successful company importing Polish products. And we have been for 33 years, and my father, when he was president of McGuinness for 25 years, he actually introduced Polish products into Canada. Now, talking about cooperation with Poland and Canada and integration, I received the topic, and I had to really think about that. And I think before we can even talk about the cooperation, I think what has to happen is that Polish people, and the ambassador said it very, very well, we need people to understand each other. We need Polish people to understand Canadians. We need Canadians to understand Polish people, and we need ambassadors. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on. All of you in this room are ambassadors. And I thought, how can everybody in this room do something to promote Polish-Canada relations? Now, Natalia might say to herself, well, you know, what can I do? I live in Edmonton, I go to school, what can I do? Well, I'll give a few examples of what everybody can do from a personal point of view. And also I'll give a few examples of what we do from a business point of view. But before that, I thought I would come up with a few traits of what Poland is about and what Canada is about. And I think when people understand both countries and what they're about, we'll have much more respect. We already have a lot of respect, and we'll have much better cooperation. Now, here are some of the traits, and these aren't all of them, but these are some of them. In Poland, Polish people are extremely patriotic. They have a never give up attitude, and that's from the history of Poland. They have extremely large family values and religious values. They're extremely hardworking people. They stand for what they believe. They're very proud, and they have a rich heritage, culture, and history. Canadians, we're untamed, we're wild, we have an easygoing attitude, we're down-to-earth people, we're respectful, we're tolerant, we're friendly, we're hospitable, and we're also very proud of our country. So those are just some traits of both countries, and I'm sure we could have a list from there to there on traits of Poland and traits of Canada. I probably missed a bunch, but those are some of them that I thought about. Now, the most important thing when talking about the traits of both countries is for people to understand those traits and respect each other. And I see that from business. When we're doing business with any of our companies, when we're doing business with Poland, there has to be a certain respect. If there's no respect, there's no cooperation, there's no integration, there's nothing. Now, my father, Peter Mielzynski Sr., and our name isn't only Mielzynski, our name is actually Mielzynski. That's our name. My name is actually Mielzynski from my grandfather. The Mielzynski side came, it's a long story, but we're actually Mielzynski. That's our full name. And my father came to Canada in 1953 or 1954, went to Winnipeg. He became a garbage man there for Eaton's. Later on, he became an encyclopedia salesman, became the #1 encyclopedia salesman for Britannica in Western Canada. He joined Eaton's again as a washing machine salesman. And I have to say, my father is the best sales guy I've ever seen in my life. This guy will sell. When he was selling washing machines, his boss at the time said, you know, look, I want you on the floor selling washing machines. And my father said to him, well, I don't want to be just on the floor. At night, I'm going to go visit my customers, and I'm going to show them how to use those washing machines. And the guy said, what for? Because if they know how to use the washing machines and we give good customer service and service excellence, they will be back to buy another washing machine. And this is our mission. Our mission at PMA is service excellence. And that's always been my father's idea. Give good service, and the people will come back to you. So my father did all this, and he went around and he didn't forget about Poland. He joined a lot of Polish groups, but he was also in the mainstream. And one day he was in Toronto, and he used to ride a lot of horses. He's 91 now, by the way, and he's still our chairman. And Mr. McGuinness, old Mr. McGuinness, met him and asked him to join the company in Toronto. McGuinness Distillers was one of the largest distilleries in Canada, and my father became a sales representative there and moved his way up to president. And when he was president of that company, he didn't let the unions in, and he hired a huge amount of Polish immigrants into the company. It was like a family. And today, I have people still calling me. I used to work for your father at McGuinness, and I mean, they just loved it there. And he hired a lot of these Polish people. That's a sense of cooperation between Poland and Canada. People come to this country with nothing. They need a job. My father probably hired over 100 Polish immigrants into McGuinness Distillers at the time. I worked there when I was 16, and I knew a lot of them. They were wonderful people. My father also, in the late night, when he became president of McGuinness Distillers, he introduced Vyborova vodka into Canada, and I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but Vyborova was the first vodka ever in Canada. Before Smirnoff, before Absolut, before Finlandia, before any of these guys were here, Vyborova was here because of my father. And again, huge cooperation because Canada never had a vodka. They had grain spirit at the time. This was in the early 60s. They had grain spirit. There was no vodka. Vyborova was the first. My father went to Poland. He got people over here from Poland to understand the market, understand the values of the country, so there could be that cooperation. He was doing that already in the 60s. It's not a new concept. And he also introduced Żywiec beer, Krakus beer, and many other Polish products. And this is when the Iron Curtain was still up and everything else. Now, my father also, when in the business, he always wanted to do something, as a Pole, he always wanted to do something for Canada. So what he did was, when he was at McGuinness Distillers, he invented CN Tower whiskey as a tribute to the CN Tower. He had Old Canada whiskey that sold all over Europe, and that was with the famous Quebec Krikoff painting. Old Canada doesn't exist anymore. CN Tower doesn't exist. McGuinness, unfortunately, has been sold out, and it's no longer a company. But he did that. Also, when he founded Hillebrand Estates Winery in 1980 with one of our ex-shareholders from Germany, the Underberg Corporation. When he founded that company, again, he wanted to do something for Canada as a Pole. So what he did was he founded Canada's Choice, the Collector's Choice edition. This was honoring the group of 7 in Kleinburg, the famous artists, the 7 famous artists from Canada. Also, he invented the wine Etienne Brulé, who was a famous explorer from from France, in Canada. And then with PMA, he founded PMA in 1979. And in 1979, he, at 57 or 58 years old, he left McGuinness, founded PMA, and again, hired quite a few Polish people and took a lot of Polish brands. He was, as far as I'm concerned, an outstanding ambassador from Canada to Poland and Poland to Canada. He would go to Poland and talk about Canada. He would talk about how fantastic the country is, what kind of country it is, what kind of people there are here. He loves Canada. He was born in Poland, but he calls himself Canadian first. You know, but he still loves Poland. Really an outstanding ambassador. And we're very proud of him. He's our chairman, and he's going to be 91 years old. And he still comes into the office 4 times a week. And Walter knows him extremely well also. Another ambassador I want to talk about is my brother Robert Mielzynski. He was born in Canada, and he became a winemaker from Fresno State University. Played pro hockey in Germany, worked all over Germany in the wine business, and then 15 years ago decided to move back to Poland. Married a distant cousin of ours, Marysia Grocholska, and they have 2 daughters. And 5 years ago, my brother and I, we founded Mielzynski Wines, Spirits, and Specialties in Warsaw, and we have a store and restaurant now in Poznań. We'll have a 3rd one in Warsaw and a 4th one in Wrocław next year. Now, why is my brother an ambassador from Canada to Poland? Why? Because he's in Poland right now, and those people love him over there. His Polish is very broken, but they love it. The customers, the Polish people that come in there love it, but he's also an ambassador for Poland and for Canada. Why? Because in his place, it's the most trendy place in Warsaw. I mean, you have people from all over the world in this place. People come in, the wines are, it's the best wine store in Poland. It's all exclusive to Mielzynski. You pick up your wine, you go to the restaurant side, there's no menu, everything's fresh. There's no pierogi or Polish sausage or cabbage rolls, but it's all international. And also very, very high quality Polish cuisine also. People love it there, and they love him there. And he's known as the expert winemaker from Canada. And he's now the first person in Poland to import Canadian wines. We just got our first shipment of Canadian wines, ice wine and Chardonnay from Ontario. So my father came here from Poland, became an ambassador. My brother, many years later, went back to Poland, and he's there for good. I can tell you now, he's not moving back to Canada. Now, talking about Peter Mielzynski agencies for a few minutes, our company, we're very proud of our Polish products. We represent Luksusowa, we represent Żubrówka, Żołądkowa Gorzka. We represent Żołądkowa Gorzka is an herbal vodka from Poland, one of the top selling vodkas. We represent Stock vodka from Poland. This is a Stock you might think is Italian, but the Stock vodka is made in Lublin, and we're just introducing it here in the Alberta market. We have Tiski beer, we have Żub, and we have Lech. And we have a number of other Polish products also. Now, these Polish products are extremely important for PMA to show cooperation and to integrate Canada and Poland and Canada. Why? Because what we've done in 33 years, we've brought people from Poland to Canada, lots of business people, from Agros, from Roland Pex, these were the export agencies at the time. Today, from all the different companies that we represent, they come here, they look at the market, they meet our people, they meet the customers, and they get a feel for what Canada is about. And this is what the ambassador was talking about. This is what we need. You just can't come here and say, well, I'm a furniture company from Poland, buy my stuff. No. People got to understand each other. So when these Polish people come to Canada, they get an understanding of what we're about. At the same time, what we do is we bring our customers, we take a group of customers every 2 years to Poland. Now, one funny story, I had one of the head buyers for the Nova Scotia Liquor Board with me, and we had just gone to Zielona Góra, and we were coming back by bus, and he says to me, you know, Peter, this trip has been unbelievable. We're eating at the best restaurants, and this country is unbelievable. I mean, the people are friendly, and the food and the restaurants is, you know, this isn't a third world place at all. I said, what are you talking about, third world? And he said to me, this was about 10 years ago, he says to me, you know what I did? He says, I've got cans of food in my luggage, because I thought I was going to starve coming here. I thought this was a third world country. And I said, but see, this is sometimes the impression people get. This is why it's important to bring those people to Poland and show them the hospitality, show them the restaurants, show them the people, the culture. On that trip, we took people to the birthplace of Chopin, for example. We took them to other very historical places. In Krakow, we took them to Wawel Castle. In Warsaw, we took them to the Royal Castle in Warsaw, just to see that the culture of Poland. And these people coming back, they really, really understood what Poland was about. And they still talk about it today. The guy in Manitoba, every time I see him, he talks about Poland. You know? And that's what's important. That's what this type of thing is important. You know, in business, making sure these people go to Poland. Also our salespeople. We send our salespeople to Poland. Because if they're going to sell Polish products, they have to understand the brands themselves. And that the culture and where they come from and what the whole mindset is for these products. And many, many of our salespeople have been to Poland, and I tell you something, not one of them comes back disappointed. Not one. And a number of them have actually taken vacations in Poland after, which is extremely important because, again, that creates jobs, that creates knowledge. They come back and they tell their friends, and maybe their friends say, you know, we've never thought about going to Poland on vacation. Maybe we should do that sometime. Very important. It creates jobs. Us hiring Polish people in our company, us representing Polish brands and doing a good job and growing the business. We grew Luksusowa from nothing to 30,000 cases. We grew our Polish beers to 200,000 cases. That creates jobs in Poland. Now, a lot of Polish people say, you know what, I'm really not happy with Poland. And I asked them why. They said, well, everything in Poland is sold. LOT Airlines is sold to British Airways. Zielona Góra is sold to the French. Tyskie beer is sold to Saab Miller. And Żywiec beer is sold to Heineken. Okocim beer is sold to Carlsberg. What the heck is going on here? Why is Poland selling all their assets? It doesn't matter why Poland is selling their assets. It's important for Polish people to drink Polish products, to support their own country, to help with employment and to help the people in Poland. And now our company, this fall, we're going to have a campaign to drink Polish. If you drink Polish means drinking quality. Now, and we're going to do this not only in the Polish press, because we do a lot of advertising in the Polish press, we're going to do this in the mainstream too. Now, for me, it's important to do this in the Polish press, because a lot of Polish people, and I was disgusted 2 years ago when I went to a wedding in Poland and they had Finlandia. I gave the guy hell. I couldn't believe it. How can I be in a wedding in Poland, in Gorzów Wielkopolski, where my father-in-law and mother-in-law lived? How can I be in a wedding there and drinking Finlandia? This is something wrong here. You know, it really is. Sorry? Not Gorbachev. No, that's not available here. That's the biggest vodka in Germany, Gorbachev. But Polish people, they love their Polish beer. I tell you, 95% of our Polish beer sales are from Polish people. But we're trying to expand to the mainstream by listing in mainstream high-end restaurants. We do displays in liquor stores. We do specials for the mainstream community to start knowing Polish beer and Polish vodkas. Polish people, their whole mindset on Polish vodka is wrong. Polish people feel that, well, you know, I drink Polish vodka, I grew up in Poland, and I want something different. And you know, Polish vodka, you know, when they first bring it out, it's great, but then after they change the formula, and it's not good anymore. And I'm saying to myself, so you know what they drink? A lot of these people, they drink Stolichnaya. Can you imagine? Polish people drinking Russian vodka. I mean, to me, it's ridiculous. I had an opportunity to take Stolichnaya vodka 2 years ago, 105,000 cases. And I said, we're not taking Stolichnaya. And my board of directors, and some big guys from Europe, from Grants, from Appleton, all these guys, he said, why wouldn't you take Stolichnaya? I said, because I'm not going to work with Russians, because I don't trust them. I don't trust Russians. And I'm not being discriminatory, but I don't trust them. Try getting paid from Russia. It's very, very difficult. So we didn't take that. But a lot of Polish people still drink Russian vodka. They drink, and what I've been told, and it's 100% correct, one of the favorite vodkas of Polish people today is Finlandia. Now, Finlandia is a great country. It's got a beautiful image, fantastic, clean image. But Polish people got to help themselves, too. You know, this is all the cooperation we're talking about. Polish people have to drink Polish products, sometimes have to buy Polish jam, Polish sesame snaps, you know, Polish furniture, you know. Sometimes it's important to support Poland. Maybe instead of flying to Poland through Frankfurt, go on LOT Airlines. It's a very good airline. Support Poland. That creates jobs, and believe me, all of us feel real good when we can drink something Polish and support Polish products. Now, at PMA, from a business perspective, I'm very proud of the fact that we support Polish-Canadian endeavors, cooperation. We do a lot of work in the field. We sponsor Polish soccer teams in international leagues. We have the Tyski team and we have the Luksusowa team. These are an international. This is mainstream. This isn't Polish community. We try to promote our Polish products always in the mainstream because we want Canadians to know how good our Polish products are. And I'm telling you, it's working. You can find żubrówka in some of the best five-star restaurants in Toronto today. And they make an excellent żubrówka apple martini. So, you know, this is what PMA does. Now, I'm just going right back to where I started a few minutes ago. I think all of us have to be ambassadors. Now, what can we do to be ambassadors? To me, it's very simple. One, you're watching sports with your friends. And let's say you're watching the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Dave Stala. You know, anybody know Dave Stala from the Hamilton Tiger Cats? Anybody? One. Dave Stala's a Polish guy. They had a whole documentary on him on CTV, on his Polish roots, his mother and father. He was born in Poland. When you're watching a sports event, Dave Stala, you say to your buddies or your friends, you know that guy's Polish. That guy's Polish. My niece is on the Canadian Olympic team. Her name is Erin Mielzynski. She was the first woman, Canadian-Polish woman, Canadian woman to win a World Cup event in 41 years. This last winter. I don't know if anybody here heard of that. Did anybody hear of the World Cup victory? That was my niece, my brother's daughter, who's on the Olympic team. And I tell you something, that World Cup event that she won was huge for Polish-Canada relations. She was splattered all over every single newspaper in Canada, on the news, on sports desk, on radio, everywhere. And what's her name? Mielzynski. People know Mielzynski is Polish. And when they see her, they say, yes, Canadian woman winning the World Cup, but she's a Canadian-Polish woman, not only Canadian. And you'll see her in Russia skiing for Canada, but you know what? She's very proud of her Polish roots also. So, to me, that's one way. Another way is if you're in the liquor store and your friend is buying a bottle of Smirnoff or Stolichnaya, you say, buy Luksusowa, or buy another Polish vodka, but at least buy something Polish, you know? I mean, these are small ways. These are small things. If somebody says, you know, I don't know where to go on vacation next year. Geez, I was thinking of going to maybe Spain or Germany. You should pipe up and say, well, why don't you go to Poland? Poland's a great place. You know about Poland? Let me tell you about Poland. Let's have a beer and let me tell you about Poland. I don't want to bore you, but look, it's a great place. You'll love it. So, you know, those are small ways that all of us can be ambassadors for Polish-Canada relations. Now, the last thing I wanted to say is that what Blaine was talking about as far as bringing young people over here, my father's been doing that since the 60s. He's bringing young Polish people to Canada to work at McGuinness, to work at Hillebrand Estates, and to work at PMA, and vice versa. He has sent a lot of young Canadian people to work in the different factories that we represent in Poland. And those young Polish people, 99% of them, behaved very, very well, and they learned a lot, and they became ambassadors for Poland to Canada. There's a couple of them that had a few problems, but a little bit too much vodka, you know, that was the problem. So anyway, those are just a few of the thoughts I wanted to share with you. My father would have loved to have been here, but as I said, he's 91 years old, and still going strong, but difficult for him to travel now, you know. But thank you very much. Thank you for all your support, and again, we're very, very pleased to be sponsors of this excellent conference. Thank you.